What if I told you that a lie, repeated for over half a century, has caused millions of people to discard one of the most extraordinary and complete foods nature has ever designed from their diet? Imagine a food that has been dragged through the mud, accused of being a silent enemy to your heart, when in reality it is a capsule of nutritional power, an almost miraculous tool specifically created to shield your body and sharpen your mind as you advance in life. We are talking about the humble and so unjustly maligned egg. This food has been at the epicenter of a fierce debate about cholesterol and cardiovascular health, a debate that sowed a wave of panic and confusion worldwide. But science does not stand still. It evolves, and in recent decades it has completely demolished the old myths that shaped what we thought we knew. The truth, stripped of special interests and outdated science, is that eggs are not just safe. They can be your staunchest allies for a vibrant aging process, for maintaining a crystal-clear mind, eagle-like vision, and a muscular structure that keeps you strong and independent. However, and this is crucial, there is one non-negotiable condition: you must consume them the right way. The vast majority of people, with the best of intentions, make a series of critical mistakes when preparing and eating eggs. Mistakes that not only completely neutralize their amazing benefits, but, in certain scenarios, could be silently sabotaging their health from within. Today, we are going to pull back the veil of misinformation to reveal the 7 most common and dangerous mistakes made with eggs, which are especially critical after the age of 60. More importantly, we will give you the knowledge to transform this food into your personal, daily medicine. Before we dive into these secrets that have the potential to redefine your approach to nutrition forever, I ask for a small gesture that is a huge support for us and allows us to continue creating valuable, free content like this. If you find this information useful, please give this video a like. And if you are not yet part of our community, subscribe to our channel and be sure to activate the notification bell. This way, you'll be the first to know about our new health guides, designed to help you live a longer, healthier, and fuller life. Your support is the engine that drives us. Thank you very much. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. Number 1. Falling into the cholesterol trap. And decades of injected fear. This is, without a doubt, the most monumental error and the one that has caused the most harm to public health. For more than 50 years, we have been ingrained with the idea that the cholesterol present in food, with the egg yolk as the main culprit, was the number 1 public enemy of our arteries. The dogma was simple and terrifying. Eating eggs would directly increase your blood cholesterol, clog your arteries like scale in an old pipe, and put you on a one-way highway to a heart attack or stroke. This belief, born from misinterpreted observational science and limited studies from the 60s and 70s, like the famous lipid hypothesis, led entire generations to commit the nutritional sacrilege of throwing yolks in the trash and settling for sad, tasteless egg white omelets, thus depriving themselves of the food's life source. The current scientific reality, robust and backed by large-scale meta-analyses, is radically different and, above all, liberating. Countless studies published in the most prestigious medical journals, such as the British Medical Journal, have conclusively shown that for the vast majority of the population, we're talking about 70% to 75% of people, sometimes called non-responders, the cholesterol we consume through our diet has a minimal or even null impact on the cholesterol levels circulating in our blood. How is this possible? Because our body is a biochemical system of astonishing intelligence and precision. The master organ in cholesterol management is our liver. It manufactures about 80% of all the cholesterol we need for absolutely vital functions, from the production of steroid hormones like testosterone and estrogen, to the synthesis of vitamin D from the sun, the production of bile to digest fats, and the construction of the membrane of every single cell in your body. When you ingest cholesterol through a nutritious food like an egg, your liver, which constantly monitors levels, simply hits the brakes and reduces its own production to maintain a perfect balance, a state of homeostasis. It's a flawless self-regulation mechanism. The true most wanted list for high bad, LDL, cholesterol and real cardiovascular risk isn't dietary cholesterol, but a nefarious combination of other modern lifestyle factors. The excessive consumption of artificial trans fats, found in industrial pastries, fried fast foods, margarines, and many ultra-processed products, high intake of refined sugars and simple carbohydrates, white bread, pasta, sodas, and a sedentary lifestyle. These are the elements that truly light the fuse of chronic systemic inflammation and cellular oxidation. This is the real process that damages the delicate lining of our arteries, the endothelium, making it rough and sticky, allowing LDL cholesterol particles, especially the small, dense ones, to oxidize and embed themselves, initiating the formation of atherosclerotic plaque. In fact, eggs contain nutrients that actively protect your cardiovascular system. Lecithin, concentrated in the yolk, is a natural emulsifier that helps prevent excess cholesterol absorption in the intestine and can contribute to improving the overall lipid profile. Therefore, fearing the egg yolk for its cholesterol is as illogical as blaming the fire department for the fire they came to extinguish. It's a catastrophic error in focus that robs you of a protective food. Enjoy your whole eggs with their glorious yolk without a shred of guilt, and direct your attention to reducing the true enemies of your health: sugar, refined flours, and processed foods. Number 2. The cooking method matters infinitely more than you think. This is where a superfood can, by our own hand, turn into a problem. Not all cooking methods are created equal, and how you prepare your eggs can draw the line between a dish that fights inflammation and one that actively promotes it. The most common mistake is frying eggs at very high temperatures, submerged in poor-quality vegetable oils like sunflower, corn, soy, or canola, until the edges become crispy, almost charred, and dark brown. While this flavor may be appealing to some, this aggressive cooking process is a factory for harmful compounds in your body. When the delicate fats and proteins of the egg are exposed to extreme heat, a phenomenon called oxidation occurs. This oxidation of lipids creates a cascade of free radicals, which are highly unstable and reactive molecules. Imagine them as small incendiary sparks that travel through your body, stealing electrons from healthy cells, causing a chain reaction of damage at the level of DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. This process is known as oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not an abstract concept. It is one of the central mechanisms of aging, and is directly implicated in the development and progression of almost every chronic disease we fear, from cardiovascular to neurodegenerative diseases and cancer. Furthermore, frying at high heat, especially to the point of browning, generates nefarious molecules called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These AGEs are pro-inflammatory compounds that form when sugars react with proteins or fats in the presence of heat. It has been scientifically proven that an accumulation of AGEs in the body contributes to the stiffening and hardening of blood vessels, arteriosclerosis, premature aging of the skin, wrinkles and loss of elasticity, the development of cataracts in the eyes, and the complication of conditions like diabetes. So, what is the intelligent strategy? Adopt gentle cooking methods at lower temperatures. Hard-boiled or soft-boiled eggs are a fantastic option. This method preserves the vast majority of their nutrients intact without generating virtually any harmful compounds. Poached eggs are another elegant and extremely healthy alternative, delicately cooked in hot water without the use of additional fats. A soft scramble, cooked over very low heat, stirring constantly in a little extra virgin olive oil, ghee, clarified butter, or a small amount of grass-fed butter, is also an excellent way to enjoy their creaminess without the dangers of violent frying. Even a pan-fried egg can be a healthy option if cooked over medium-low heat, using a stable fat and allowing the white to cook through while the yolk remains liquid and warm. The key is to avoid extreme heat and burnt or overly crispy edges. By changing your cooking method, you transform your egg dish from a potential source of inflammation into a powerful and delicious anti-inflammatory. Number 3. Discarding the yolk, the true nutritional treasure. This mistake is closely linked to the cholesterol panic we've already debunked, but it deserves its own section due to the incredible magnitude of benefits that are literally thrown in the trash. In a misguided attempt to be healthier, countless people have adopted the sad habit of separating the yolk and consuming only the white. The egg white is, in essence, high-quality protein, mainly albumin and water. It is an excellent source of protein, no doubt, but by discarding the yolk, you are flushing more than 90% of the vitamins and minerals, the true nutritional heart of the egg, down the drain. The yolk is where the real magic resides. To start, it is one of the richest natural sources of choline, an essential nutrient similar to B vitamins, which is often deficient in the diet of older adults. Choline is absolutely fundamental for brain health. It acts as a precursor to acetylcholine, a key neurotransmitter for processes like memory, learning, concentration, mood, and muscle control. Adequate choline intake has been associated in studies with a lower risk of cognitive decline and better performance on memory tests, acting as a protective factor against diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. For the population over 60, maintaining optimal brain function is an absolute priority, and the egg yolk is one of the most powerful and accessible tools to achieve it. But the story doesn't end there. The yolk is the treasure chest for lutein and zeaxanthin, two incredibly potent antioxidants from the carotenoid family. These compounds have a unique affinity for eye tissue and accumulate in the macula of the retina. There, they act as internal sunglasses, filtering harmful high-energy blue light emitted by the sun and our device screens, and protecting photoreceptors from oxidative damage. Multiple robust studies have shown that a regular intake of lutein and zeaxanthin through diet can significantly reduce the risk of developing age-related macular degeneration, AMD, and cataracts, two of the leading causes of blindness and vision loss in older adults. Furthermore, the yolk is one of the few natural food sources of vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin, which is crucial for calcium absorption and bone health, helping to prevent osteoporosis and the debilitating risk of fractures. Enough, it also provides vitamin A, retinol, vitamin B12, essential for energy and nervous system health, selenium, a key antioxidant for thyroid function, iodine, biotin, and folate. To think of the yolk as the bad part of the egg is a first-order nutritional blunder. It is the multivitamin that nature designed for us, perfectly packaged and bioavailable. Number 4. Ignoring the source and the environment in which the hen lives, its stress level is not its freedom of movement, and above all, what it eats, have a drastic and direct impact on the nutritional profile and quality of the egg it lays. Making the mistake of systematically buying the cheapest eggs at the supermarket, which usually come from hens raised in conventional cages and industrial production systems, may mean you are missing out on a much broader and more potent spectrum of health benefits. Hens in industrial farming systems live in extreme confinement, without seeing sunlight, under chronic stress, and are fed a monotonous and unnatural diet based on corn and soy feed, often genetically modified. This produces eggs that, while still a source of protein, are nutritionally inferior and have a pro-inflammatory fat profile. On the other hand, hens that have access to pasture-raised, can carry out their natural behaviors. They roam freely, peck at fresh grass, take sunbaths, and hunt for insects, worms, and other small animals, which is their ancestral omnivorous diet. This lifestyle and enriched diet completely change the biochemistry of the egg. Comparative studies are clear and compelling. Eggs from pasture-raised hens, compared to conventional cage-laid eggs, can contain up to twice the omega-3 fatty acids. These are essential fatty acids with potent anti-inflammatory properties, crucial for heart health, brain function, and joint mobility. They are especially important for combating the chronic low-grade inflammation that is a hallmark of the aging process. 3 to 6 times more vitamin D. As these hens are exposed to direct sunlight, they synthesize more vitamin D in their skin and transfer it in greater quantities to their eggs. 7 times more beta-carotene. This precursor to vitamin A, responsible for the deep, vibrant orange color of the yolk, is a powerful antioxidant that protects our cells from damage. Significantly higher amounts of vitamin E and vitamin A. Look for terms on the packaging like pasture-raised, free-range, or organic. Sometimes you will also see omega-3 enriched, which means the producers supplement the hen's diet with sources like flax seeds or algae to further increase the content of these healthy fats. Yes, these eggs usually have a slightly higher price, but you shouldn't see it as an expense, but as one of the best investments you can make in your health. You are paying for a nutritionally superior product with a much healthier fat profile and a multiplied content of vitamins and antioxidants. It's not an expense. It's a direct upgrade to the quality of your food-based medicine. Number 5. The bad company on the plate. You can follow all the advice to the letter. You choose a pasture-raised egg, you cook it gently at a low temperature, but if you surround it with the wrong companions on the plate, you can completely sabotage your efforts and nullify all its benefits. An extremely common mistake is to fall into the trap of the classic breakfast that the food industry has sold us for decades. Fried eggs alongside strips of processed bacon, industrial sausages, and a slice of white toast with sugar-laden jam, all accompanied by a glass of pasteurized orange juice. This plate is not a breakfast, it's a metabolic time bomb and an inflammation festival. Processed bacon and industrial sausages are processed meats, loaded with nitrates, nitrites, excessive sodium, phosphates, and poor-quality saturated fats. The World Health Organization has classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen, placing it in the same risk category as tobacco and asbestos. Combining a noble food like an egg with these products is completely counterproductive. White bread is a refined carbohydrate stripped of fiber that converts to sugar in the bloodstream at a dizzying speed, causing sharp spikes in glucose and insulin, which in turn promotes inflammation and fat storage. And commercial orange juice, from which all the fiber has been extracted, is basically sugar water with an orange flavor, a direct hit to your pancreas. The smart strategy is to treat your eggs like the royalty of the plate and surround them with a court of healthy companions that enhance and complement their benefits. Think of the egg as the center of an anti-inflammatory, nutrient-dense, and colorful dish. Some excellent and synergistic combinations include eggs with avocado. Avocado provides heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, fiber that feeds your gut microbiome, and potassium to regulate blood pressure. Eggs with sautéed spinach, chard, or kale. You add an extra dose of magnesium, vitamins K, C, and A, and more vision-protecting antioxidants like lutein. Eggs on a slice of whole-grain sourdough bread. This type of bread, thanks to its fermentation, has a lower glycemic index and is much friendlier to your digestive system and microbiome. Eggs with a side of roasted cherry tomatoes or sautéed mushrooms. Cooked tomatoes release lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that protects the prostate and skin. Mushrooms provide selenium and B vitamins. Sprinkle turmeric and a pinch of black pepper on your scrambled eggs. The curcumin in turmeric is one of the most potent natural anti-inflammatories known, and the piperine in black pepper multiplies its absorption. By changing the accompaniments, you not only drastically improve the nutritional profile of your meal, but you also create a powerful synergy where foods work as a team to protect, nourish, and strengthen your body. Number 6. Falling into extremism. Neither eating too many nor avoiding them completely. In the world of nutrition, balance is king. After debunking the irrational fear of cholesterol, some people may fall to the opposite extreme and start consuming eggs excessively, under the belief that if something is good, more is always better. While there is no magic number that applies universally to everyone, moderation and common sense remain key. For the vast majority of healthy older adults, consuming 1 to 2 whole eggs per day is considered perfectly safe and highly beneficial, always as part of an overall balanced diet rich in plant-based foods. However, it is crucial to consider the context of bio-individuality. If a person has a pre-existing condition like familial hypercholesterolemia, a genetic disorder that causes naturally very high cholesterol levels, or poorly controlled type 2 diabetes with a poor overall diet, they should consult with their doctor or a nutritionist to determine the optimal amount. Some research has suggested that in populations with diabetes, a very high egg consumption in the context of a standard Western diet might be associated with an increased cardiovascular risk, although the evidence is not conclusive and is often confounded by other lifestyle factors. The important thing is not to build your entire diet around a single food, no matter how nutritious it is. The opposite mistake, and perhaps much more detrimental for the majority of the older population, is to avoid them completely due to outdated myths. By not eating eggs, you are depriving yourself of one of the highest quality, most bioavailable, and most affordable sources of protein on the planet. Protein is an absolutely critical macronutrient after the age of 60 to combat sarcopenia, which is the progressive loss of muscle mass, strength, and function related to age. Sarcopenia is a predictor of frailty, drastically increases the risk of falls, fractures, and the loss of functional independence. Eggs provide all 9 essential amino acids in a perfect ratio that your body needs to efficiently build and repair muscle tissue. Eliminating this food from your diet out of unfounded fear is a serious strategic error for healthy, strong, and active aging. The answer lies not in prohibition or excess, but in intelligent and moderate inclusion within a varied, colorful, and plant-rich dietary pattern. Number 7. Underestimating food safety risks. As we age, our immune system can become less robust and efficient, a process known as immunosenescence. This makes us more vulnerable to foodborne infections, and the consequences can be more severe. One of the main microbiological risks associated with modern production is the salmonella bacteria. Thanks to safety practices, the consequences of a salmonella infection in an older adult can be much more serious than in a young person, potentially leading to severe dehydration, hospitalization, and systemic complications. The mistake here is to be careless or negligent with the handling, storage, and cooking of eggs. Consuming raw or undercooked eggs significantly increases this risk. This includes homemade preparations like mayonnaise, tiramisu, or mousses made with raw eggs, protein shakes that include a raw egg for a boost, or soft-boiled eggs where the yolk remains completely liquid and cool to the touch. Although many people love the texture of a runny yolk, it is crucial to ensure it has reached a sufficient temperature to eliminate any potentially harmful bacteria. The yolk doesn't need to be rock solid, but it must be thoroughly hot. To ensure total food safety, follow these golden rules. Cook eggs until both the yolk and the white are firm. If you prefer a softer yolk, poached or fried, make sure it is hot all the way through, not lukewarm or cold. Store eggs in the refrigerator inside their original carton, ideally on one of the main shelves and not in the door, where the temperature fluctuates every time you open it. Discard any eggs that are broken, cracked, or dirty. Cracks in the shell are an entryway for bacteria. Wash your hands, utensils, cutting boards, and surfaces with hot, soapy water after they have been in contact with raw eggs to prevent cross-contamination. If you have a particularly compromised immune system, or if you simply want to minimize any risk to the absolute fullest, consider buying pasteurized eggs. These eggs have been gently heated in their shell to a precise temperature to destroy bacteria without actually cooking the egg, making them completely safe to consume even in raw or undercooked preparations. Paying attention to food safety is not a sign of paranoia. It is a demonstration of intelligence, respect for your body, and self-care, especially in this valuable stage of life. Ultimately, the egg is not the villain that propaganda and outdated science made us believe for decades. It is a concentrated source of high-quality nutrition, a true gift of nature that can and should be a fundamental pillar in your strategy for healthy, active, and lucid aging. By avoiding these 7 common mistakes, the obsolete fear of cholesterol, aggressive cooking methods, discarding the yolk, indifference to its origin, bad company on the plate, extremes in consumption, and lack of attention to safety, you can finally unlock its amazing full potential. This is about making informed decisions, understanding the real science behind food, and using that knowledge to build a stronger, more resilient body and a clearer, brighter mind year after year. This isn't just about eating eggs. It's about taking the reins of your health and nourishing your body with the intelligence and respect it deserves.